Definition of adjective. Adjective is a word used to describe a noun, pronoun, which can be a person, place, animals, object, or abstract concept or thing. This English adjective is one of the 8 parts of speech. The example of adjective are drag, hot, young, bad, pretty, teeny, selfish, stubborn, and bright. Jadi, kata sifat adalah kata yang digunakan untuk menerangkan kata benda atau kata ganti yang dapat berupa orang, tempat, binatang, benda, atau konsep. Position of adjective. In the first, adjective noun. Example, beautiful woman, expensive dress. The second, noun adjective, something new, someone special. And the last one, verb adjective, she feel alone. Sivornes are very excited. Sivornes are very excited.
Okay, I will to the continue presentation about gradable and non-gradable. A. Gradable. Adjectives that can be modified or added from the strengthen and weaken the structure are called gradable and are influenced by adverb of degree or adverb that can increase the next word adjective. And then for example, big is very big, rather big. Smart, very smart, smart enough. Important, moderately important, very important. And then example of sentence. It is very important to me because it is one of my notebook. And then that coffee is pretty hot. And then Henry was more clever than Adit. And then is the number B, non-gradable. Non-gradable adjective is an adjective that cannot be modified in the sense that the adjective is pure without a mixture of adverb of degree because its meaning is already extreme without being summed from the word categories as adverb of degree. Therefore, adjectives that have extraordinary meaning the called non-gradable adjective. For example, absolutely is a fool. Utterly is excellent. Completely is terrified. And then example of sentence. In the number 1, she is terrified of the dark. That was a fool. The chemical products. Jadi, gradable adalah salah satu kategori kata sifat yang dapat diperkuat dan diperlemah. Pada intinya, dapat dimodifikasi sesuai dengan penggunaannya seperti big menjadi very big, yang artinya diperkuat. Sedangkan non-gradable merupakan kata sifat yang tidak bisa dimodifikasi layaknya kata sifat yang dikategorikan gradable.
Yes. The next is about participle adjective and compound adjective. A participle adjective is an adjective that is identical in form to a participle. In short, participle are words that usually end in ed or ing and derive from verbs. Simply, text participle are used. It is an adjective. Participle adjective often describe something, state, or condition like exciting, depressed, confused, or say that something is related to a certain action or activity like cooking class, boxing gloves, reading class. Jadi di participle adjective itu adalah sebuah adjektif yang memiliki bentuk yang sama dengan participle, yaitu kata kerja yang memiliki akhiran ed atau ing. Kata sifat partisipatif sering menggambarkan keadaan atau kondisi sesuatu, atau menggambarkan atau mengatakan bahwa sesuatu terkait dengan tindakan atau aktivitas tertentu. Participle adjective dapat membantu kita mendeskripsikan orang, tempat, benda yang lebih akurat saat kita berbicara maupun menulis. And then about types of participle adjective. There are two types. The one is past participle. For regular verbs, adding ed to the base form creates the past participle. Example: awakened, burned, crushed, destroyed, enhanced, opened, and etc. And number two is present participles. As participle adjective, adding ing to the base from a verb creates the present participle. Example is answering, boring, and daring, or entertaining. Okay, next about compound adjective. What are compound adjective? A compound adjective is formed when two or more adjectives are joined together to modify the same noun. These terms should be neat to avoid confusion or ambiguity. Compound adjective writes rules. The first rule is should be written by hyphen, punctuation, or a hyphen to avoid ambiguity or double meaning. And the second, if it is front of a noun, this word phrase with a noun is called a noun phrase. Words that make up compound adjective are hyphenate only if they are in front of a noun. Jadi compound adjective merupakan kata sifat yang terdiri dari dua kata atau lebih, namun berfungsi layaknya sebuah adjektif tunggal, yaitu menerangkan sebuah noun atau kata benda. Dalam penulisan compound adjective ini ada dua peraturan. Yang pertama adalah compound adjective harus ditulis oleh tanda hubung untuk menghindari ambigu atau makna kata ganda dalam kalimat. Lalu aturan yang kedua adalah dalam penulisan kata sifat ini, compound adjective mungkin berada di depan atau di belakang noun. Jika compound adjective ini terletak di depan noun, maka frasa kata dengan noun disebut dengan noun phrase. For example, I like your brownish black hair. Her hair is brownish black with a reddish highlight, and I work as a part-time translator. And then about adjective plus to infinitive. We find some adjective followed by the to infinitive from verbs to express feelings or reaction. The most commonly used adjectives are clever, difficult, easy, hard, impossible, nice, possible, right, strange, wrong. The structure is the adjective followed by a to infinitive. For example, it is expensive to buy. She found it impossible to learn to play the piano. And the last, it would be strange to see you with short hair. And next, about ing adjective. Adjective that end in ing generally describe the thing that causes the emotion. For example, a boring lesson makes you feel bored. Have you seen that film? It's really frightening. I could listen to her for hours. She's so interesting. I can sleep, the noise is really annoying. And then about adjective plus WH clause. WH clause or WH clause is a subordinate clause that's introduced by one of the WH clause like what, who, which, when, why, and how. WH clause can function as subject, object, or complements. For example, the first successful heart transplant in 109,067 raised the question of when life ends, and then question of the definition of death. It is a reference from Alan Fairley, Religion and Medical Ethics. And example for number 2 is spring is when the earth differs after months in the freezer and gives off an aroma that's as good as pizza dough rising. It's reference from Michael Tucker, Living in a Foreign Language. And then about adjective and the clause. We use be adjective plus the clause to express opinions and feelings. Some adjectives commonly used in this way are sure, certain, right, important, pleased, afraid, sorry, surprised, worried. We can omit the with the no change in meaning. It's important that we look at the problem in more detail. I'm sure that you hope that you will know a lot of people here, and they were afraid that we were going to be late.
I will explain about adjectives and adverbs, comparative and superlative forms. Adjectives and adverbs have forms called comparative and superlative that are used for comparisons. Use the comparative form when comparing two items, people, places, or ideas. Use the superlative when comparing more than two. For short adjectives with one syllable or two syllables ending in y or li, and one syllable adverbs at the ending er for the comparative and est for the superlative. Change y to I if the y is preceded by a consonant. icy, icier, iciest. Generally, they used before the superlative form. For the example, word short, comparative shorter, superlative shortest. Pretty, comparative prettier, superlative prettiest, and etc. With longer adjectives and with adverbs ending in ly at more and most, not less and least are used with adjectives of any length, such as bright, less bright, least bright. For the example, in the word intelligent, comparative more intelligent and superlative most intelligent. Carefully, comparative more carefully, superlative most carefully, and etc. If you cannot decide whether to use an er or est form or more or most, consult a dictionary. If there is an er or est form, the dictionary will say so. And then irregular forms. The following are irregular comparative and superlatives form. For the examples, good, comparative better, superlative best, and bad, comparative worse, superlative worse. Much or many, comparative more, superlative most. Using then with comparative forms to compare to people, places, objects, or ideas. Use the comparative form with the word then. If you use a comparative form in your sentence, you need then to let your reader know what you are comparing with what. Phrases and clauses. We have cases where the comparative word then can introduce a subclause, which is a part of a sentence which has its own verb, but it doesn't make sense if it is separated from the main part of the sentence. For the example, his latest film is more interesting than the ones he made previously. This is a comparison that stretches along two sentences. As you can see, each one has its own verb. The hang element is more interesting, so called because it belongs to both sentences at the same time. Uh, I could say his latest film is more interesting than the others, but then you wouldn't understand or it wouldn't be clear enough as to which others. One could also read it as the ones made by other directors, the ones that I've seen before, and etc. In comparative phrase, adverbial or adjective can follow the then linking word. Examples: they thought the game was better than ever. For his homework, he did no more than usual. There is higher unemployment in the north than in the south. Sometimes we cannot use some types of comparative phrases in relation with comparative clauses. For example, in the comparison of degree or amount. Example, we had fewer than 2 students in the class. You must find better things to do than playing computer games. Another little anomaly is the case where only comparison with more or less can be used. Uh, Example, her performance was more good than bad. It was good rather than bad. The above examples concern cases of unequal comparisons. However, with equal comparisons, we need to use the as blah 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 as experience. Example, the children seem to like the one parent as much as the other.
Okay, I will continue the presentation. Definition of adverb. Adverbs are words or groups of words that modify verbs, adjectives, and other adverbs, and it tells when, where, and how an action is performed or indicate the quality or degree of action. Jadi, adverb atau kata keterangan di sini adalah uh, sebuah kata atau sekelompok kata-kata yang memodifikasi kata kerja, kata sifat, dan kata keterangan lainnya yang memberitahu kapan, di mana, dan bagaimana kejadian tersebut dilakukan dan menunjukkan kualitas atau tingkat tindakan. Okay, position of adverb. A. Adverbs of time or frequency. Adverb of time or frequency indicate time or frequency on the action in the sentence. They answer the question when or how frequently is the action performed. Always, never, often, eventually, no, frequently, occasionally, once, forever, seldom, before, Sunday, Monday, 10 a.m., 12 p.m., and etc. are common adverbs of time or frequency. And in the example, I went to school a little late yesterday. He always gets a good result. I will leave Monday. He smokes occasionally. B. Adverbs of place or direction. Adverb of place or direction that indicate place or direction of the action in the sentence, and they answer the question where is the action performed, and across, over, under, in, out, through, backward, there, around, here, sidewise, upstairs, in the park, in the field,
in the place, and etc. are some common adverbs of place or direction. An example of the adverbs of place or direction is number 1, I went through the jungle. Number 2, he plays in the field. Number 3, Alex is going to school and he is staying at my home. Adverbs of degree. Adverbs that express the importance or degree or level of the action in the sentence are called adverbs of degree. And they answer the question, how much is the action performed? Completely, nearly, entirely, less, mildly, most, thoroughly, somewhat, excessively, much, and etc. are common adverbs of degree. And in the example is number 1, she completely forgot about her anniversary. Number 2, I read the newspaper thoroughly. Number 3, I'm so excited about the new job. And number 4, Robin hardly studies. Adverbs of manner. Adverbs that express the manner or approach or process of the action in the sentence are called adverbs of manner. And they answer the question, how is the action performed? Beautifully, equally, thankfully, carefully, handily, quickly, coldly, hotly, resentfully, earnestly, nicely, tirelessly, and etc. are common adverbs of manner. These adverbs usually end in ly. And the example, number 1, let's divide the prices quickly. Number 2, please handle the camera carefully. Number 3, Mike is walking slowly. And number 4, he is running fast. Degree adverbs and focus adverbs. Focus adverbs. These adverbs don't have only at the end, and they include even, just, only, and almost. And these adverbs add focus to the word that comes after it. And in the example, number 1, even the teacher had grammar rules. And number 2, I just heard the news. Untuk degree adverb sudah saya jelaskan di slide sebelumnya. Di sini saya akan menjelaskan perbedaan antara degree adverb dan focus adverb. Degree adverb menggunakan akhiran ly atau ly di akhir kalimatnya. Sedangkan focus adverb tidak menggunakan ly atau ly di akhir kalimat.
In the 4, comment adverbs and viewpoint adverbs. Definition. Viewpoint and commenting adverb modify the entire clause, not just the verb, adverb, or singular adjective. There is no clear difference between point of view adverbs and comment aspects in the placement of the sentence. Many point of view adverbs can also be used as comment caption. However, in some cases, one adverb is used much more often than the other. Viewpoint and comment adverb are usually located at the beginning, middle, or end of a sentence. Jadi viewpoint and commenting adverb atau kata keterangan, sudut pandang dan komentar memodifikasi seluruh klausa, tidak hanya kata kerja, kata keterangan, atau kata sifat tunggal. Tidak ada perbedaan yang jelas antara kata keterangan, sudut pandang, dan komentar, kecuali dalam penempatan kalimatnya. Banyak kata keterangan sudut pandang juga bisa digunakan sebagai keterangan komentar. Namun, dalam beberapa kasus, salah satu kata keterangan jauh lebih sering digunakan dari kata keterangan lainnya. It is the example sentence of comment. adverb. Example, the word is clearly. The example 1, clearly he doesn't know what he is doing. The second, he clearly doesn't know what he is doing. The last, he doesn't know what he is doing clearly. Jadi kata clearly ini bisa berada di tempat yang berbeda, bisa di awal kalimat, tengah kalimat, maupun akhir kalimat. Yang contoh kedua yaitu surely. In the example sentence 1 or first, surely you try to get here on time. Example second, you surely try to get here on time. And the last, you try to get here on time, surely. Jadi, di surely ini sama dengan contoh di awal, karena letaknya juga berbeda-beda. Contohnya di awal kalimat, tengah kalimat, maupun akhir kalimat.